Hey guys, this is Lisa from NYC Gal Outs. We are talking Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 15, episode 11, I think it is. I don't even know. I'm ready for them to go on to their cash trip in Italy because this episode was kind of boring. It was a filler episode. Not every episode is going to be packed filled with drama and whatever else. But I also think that the fact that the ladies are kind of split, I don't know if it was just because production wanted to kind of like give the ladies a little bit of a break or something after the whole situation with Amanda and Dorit. I mean, I don't think it was that serious, but I think that with all the lawsuits that Bravo has, they just kind of want it to be like, very PC. And if Amanda is saying that she doesn't want to film or she's uncomfortable filming, then maybe that's why this Hamptons mini getaway has been dragged out. Can we bring them all back together? Because now it's feeling a little bit obnoxious. But I said this before, that Shed Media, they are much more PC than Evolution or any of the other production companies, because over there on Evolution, which is Amazon Studios, they produce OC. And you saw how on OC they were perfectly fine with like basically icing out Katie and basically firing her for half of the season. I mean, she didn't officially get fired, but she might as well have been. I just noticed how different things are handled with Shed Media, because rather than, having anyone be iced out, Rachel Zoe basically invited Dorit like 3,000 miles away. And, with Amanda, I mean, they legit sent Erika over there to like have a scene film with her. I do not believe for a minute that Erika willingly went there to film. And when I say willingly, I mean, like, I don't think it was her idea to be like, oh, let me get to know Amanda better. I definitely believe it was somebody in production, probably her field producer, if not the executive producer, was probably like, hey, call Amanda up, get to know her, whatever, we're going to film a scene. But this is a show that is supposed to be filled with drama. I'm not saying that you guys need to like flip tables. Those bygone years are gone. Teresa flipping a table, Portia dragging Kenya down to the floor. Those are no longer acceptable, even in the Bravo universe. But none of that happened. I mean, their feelings were hurt, whatever. The episode, I mean, there wasn't really anything to talk about, but I will say that one scene that really stuck out to me was Boz and Keely's scene. So they went to a restaurant, and it's Boz, Keely, and her daughter. I already said this in my last episode. Listen, she might be very mature for 16, and I'm not saying she's not, but having these adult conversation in front of a 16-year-old is weird. These are not educational conversations that you're having. Listen, no 16-year-old is thinking about infertility, okay? So it's very weird. Anyway, but that's not even the part that stood out in that scene. The part that stood out to me was Keely saying like, well, what if I lost my job? Like, girl, what? I don't even know what it is that Keely does. Like, does anybody know? Maybe he said it or maybe she said it. But if they ever said it, it totally went over my head because I have no idea what that man does. But right away, when he said that, I'm thinking, Boz, don't get yourself into a Britney Spears situation. Now, Britney Spears, I'm going to say her situation is a little bit different because she was in a conservatorship. But what I will say is, you know what? We're in 2026. Don't think this is 1996. Don't even think this is 2006. Because I'm going to tell you what. You had a better chance back in 1996 of like the kids always going with the mom. Because nowadays, okay, let's talk about Denise Richards a little bit. Denise Richards was ordered to pay her ex-husband, her estranged husband. They're going through their divorce right now. She was ordered to pay Aaron, I'm not even sure what the number is, but she was ordered to pay him alimony, spousal support, okay? So again, this isn't even 2006. We're in 2026. So women, they wanted equal rights. Well, equal rights doesn't just mean that you're getting paid more. It means that you're expected to pick up the check as well. You're expected to pay the bills as well. And it's not a guarantee that the kids are going to go with you anymore. He doesn't have any kids, but I kind of feel like, I don't know if the scene is fake, but listen, in a relationship though, however the relationship is, if they're okay being the provider, then you know what? If you like it, I love it. Because listen, like I said, 2026, okay? You want the equal rights? Well, it goes all across the spectrum, okay? But listen, we're not in their relationship. So if they're okay with it, who are we to say? And I bring that up because Amanda was on Watch What Happens Live. One of the questions was, how does your fiance Eddie feel about you putting it out there that you're the breadwinner, you're the provider, whatever. And what she said was kind of wild to me. I mean, I don't know how their relationship is, but what she said was, well, it's not like I'm saying anything that he doesn't already know. I sensed like a little bit of resentment there. Maybe I'm just, reading it from my perspective. But the way she said it was like, well, I'm not saying anything that he doesn't already know. It felt like she had a little bit resentment that she was the breadwinner. I mean, she is making sure that everybody knows it, including Eddie. So, she didn't really say something like, oh, I didn't mean it the way it sounded. Or she didn't try to soften it. She didn't try to say, oh, well, we're equal contributors. No, she was basically like, well, I'm not saying anything he doesn't already know. Listen, he's okay with it. And I'm assuming he's okay with it because he's living in her house that she paid for. She made sure to let everybody know, including the audience at home. So that's her relationship. And listen, if she's feeling resentful of the fact that she's the one that is being the provider, well, you know what? It's a little bit too late now because you already have kids with that man. But I think back with Boz's situation, and I think Neely is living in Boz's home, right? Listen, Boz, I hope you're smart enough just to realize to protect yourself. But sometimes when you've been alone for a while, you feel a little bit desperate, not shade or anything, but you feel a little bit different. You're in your 20s, you feel like you have forever, okay? And even though she already has a child, maybe she's feeling lonely. Because if you guys remember last season, her first season, when they were all talking about relationships and stuff, she stated something like she was dating someone and he turned out to be like a complete catfish. You guys remember that? Because her and Jennifer Tilly, they kind of bonded over that a little bit because Jennifer Tilly was like, oh yeah, I got catfish too. Anyway, speaking of Jennifer Tilly, we finally see her. She has a sit down with Sutton. They're talking about like Sutton's annulment or whatever. And here's something I want to say, just because I'm Catholic. So for those who aren't Catholic, I want to explain the annulment a little bit. You have legal annulment, which not every state recognizes. In this country, is not universal. Divorce is universal, but annulments, it depends on what state. There is legal annulments where it's annulled, there's no support, spousal support, whatever. And usually they only allow that if there's no children involved. What Sutton's ex-husband did was have a Catholic annulment. In the Catholic Church, divorce is not allowed. So you can't not remarry in the Catholic Church with a divorce. You need to have an annulment. So that is what Christian did. A Catholic annulment is not the same as a legal annulment. A Catholic annulment just means that the Catholic Church does not recognize the marriage, and that allows someone to remarry into the Catholic Church. If you're a Catholic like that, when you get a divorce, you also cannot take communion. If you're a person of faith, it is, a big deal. But whatever. I mean, like, they're sitting there and, Jennifer Tilly's calling her a hoochie mama. I haven't heard that term since I was like, I don't know. Sutton's like, no, she's not a hoochie mama. Like, oh my God. Okay. Anyway, it's weird having like middle-aged women saying hoochie mama. Jennifer Tilly's not even middle-aged. She's senior citizen, and that's not shade. She's legit 67 years old. That's retirement age in this country. You could collect your full Social Security at that age. But Sutton, she says that Christian is with a friend. I was like, what? I don't know if she's younger than Sutton or whatever, but apparently Christian is with Sutton's friend. That's gotta be really hurtful. Even if you don't love the man anymore, this man not only has moved on while you're still single, but he moved on with your friend. It doesn't have to be a best friend. It doesn't even have to be a friend that you hang out with and talk to or that you're close to. Even if it's just an acquaintance, that is hurtful. I feel like even if you've moved on from a relationship, knowing that the person that you used to be with is now with a friend, no matter how close or not close you are with that person, just being with someone that it's got to be like a lot of resentment. Not necessarily that you're jealous or whatever, but just resentment in the fact that you kind of feel as a betrayal. Anyway, over there in the East Coast, Dorit, Kyle, and Rachel, they go shopping, and Dorit is having problems with her credit cards. I didn't think it was a big deal. She was able to get her credit card to go through. That's not unusual to me. Like, if you are in a different location, she's out in the West Coast and, she's buying stuff in New York, in the Hamptons. Anyone who thinks that it's weird or they think that there was something up with it, well, then I don't know what to tell you guys, but that is actually a legit thing. I thought it was weird that Kyle is like saying, what is going on with her? She's spending all this money. She has OCD. She's manic. I don't think she was any of that. I don't know what's going on with Kyle and Dorit, but that friendship, whatever it was, it's not ever going to go back to what it was. Rachel Zoe, this was interesting. So this, I'm just going to title this recap the August 3rd episode, because she says, you know, today's the 1 year anniversary of like her and her ex-husband Roger's divorce separation. I'm just going to call it the August 3rd recap. But what I thought was kind of like wild was that she said that she cheated on Roger with a model 4 years into their relationship, and that the next day Roger proposed to her. You're going into a marriage where you already cheated? No way. No way. I've never watched Rachel Zoe's show that she had on Bravo. I don't know if Roger was in that show or not. She said they've been together for a really long time, whatever. I just feel like, not even knowing anything about their relationship, just as a casual viewer, I feel like if you're going into a relationship where you're already cheating, I mean, she said that, you know, Roger knew about it and they never had any problems. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, because there's no way. I could never. I could never. And I feel like most people could never, but it's wild. I mean, I'm not surprised that they got a divorce. Who knows what their relationship was like? I don't know. And yeah, that was the episode. What did you guys think? I didn't feel like there was much to talk about. Like, what else was there to talk about? That was it, guys. Filler episode, really boring. I'm waiting for them to go to Italy.